You know, if the NFL draft is about stars and potential superstars, Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, then pro days are about pro football players. And I think pro days are some of the coolest days during the offseason on the calendar because you get to see guys that weren't invited to the NFL Scouting Combine. You get to see guys that might have had poor performances at the NFL Scouting Combine, get an opportunity to show what they can do in a friendlier environment. Famously, last year, Kyler Murray goes into his pro day, throws the ball 67 times for 4,200 yards with 61 completions, 61 touchdowns, and he was sweating it out in front of more than 100 media members and, my goodness, nearly 75 NFL personnel types, whether it be scouts or general managers, and Charlie Casserly made a butt of himself, and Kyler Murray goes number one. Also, you got to see some other guys that perhaps weren't necessarily getting their due that got better looks throughout the season, and their draft stock continued to go up. So when we talk about this pro day coming up, yes, Jalen Hurts will be the headliner, with Tua Tagovailoa going to throw at Alabama's pro day later in April, and CeeDee Lamb also a headliner. But you're going to get to see guys like R.J. Proctor, Parnell Motley, and Lee Morris get opportunities to show NFL scouts and media members what they can do on top of what they've already done. I think R.J. Proctor is going to demonstrate that he can play all 5 offensive line positions, playing guard and tackle at Oklahoma last year, learning a lot from Bill Bedenbaugh, being a part of a Big 12 championship team and a college football playoff berth for the first time in his career. You know what Lee Morris is. Beast mode, comes to Oklahoma by way of Allen, Texas, walks on, makes himself just awesome at that tight end position, earns a scholarship. And we all know Parnell Motley came on strong during his senior season. But I want to focus on Motley here because Parnell Motley put together one of the best seasons we've seen from a cornerback in the last half decade, quite honestly. He finishes his career with 5th in pass breakups at Oklahoma with 33. He had 13 alone as a senior and was an all Big 12 performer at 6 feet, 175 pounds. He also is one of the only people during the Peach Bowl wearing no OU jersey that actually had a good game. 7 tackles, 4 solos. Joe Burrow threw 10 incompletions. 2 of those were Parnell Motley breaking up passes, all right? He forced a fumble in that game as well. He had 5 forced fumbles last season. That was second nationally. I believe he's a sleeper on this pro day. And if he can run faster than Ohio State cornerback Damon Arnett, who went 4.56 in the 40-yard dash, if he can run faster than Graylin Arnold, who is 5'9", and ran 4.59 at his 40-yard dash. If he can somehow get into that 4.4 range, we're talking about a second-round draft pick quite easily, right? It's really going to get him to be able to show what he's able to do in cones, what he's able to do on bench. Nobody really cares. He's going to be slighter than some of these guys. Like AJ Green is 6'1", 202 pounds, but he ran 4.62 in the 40. If Parnell Motley at 6 feet, 175, 180, can drop into that sub 4.6 range, you get him in the same category as a guy like Arnett, who played opposite Jeff Okudah and really had more opportunities to show that he was a player than Okudah. You get to really take a hard look at him and say, if Antoine Winfield is gone, if Grant Delpit is gone, Grant Delpit plays a different position, but he can play some corner. If there are some cornerbacks that you like Reggie Robinson, then they're gone. Perhaps a guy like Parnell Motley is that you would be willing to take in the 3rd round or the 2nd round. And you could see, in that case, 3 defenders for Oklahoma get drafted in the first 3 rounds. I think that's on the table right now. If Neville Gallimore and Kenneth Murray slot as first rounders for some, Neville Gallimore perhaps more of a 2nd round kind of guy like Cody Ford was last year, like the first guy taken or second guy taken in the 2nd round, I still think you could end up with Parnell Motley being drafted in those first 3 rounds because he could show what we've all saw from him as a senior at this pro day. I thought he was snubbed out of the NFL Scouting Combine. I thought he was snubbed out of Senior Bowl as well. Ends up at the East-West Shrine Game because they were really trying to get guys that were much highly rated and highly regarded and had more buzz. But on Wednesday at 9 a.m., Parnell Motley gets to have his say. He gets to have his due. Will he show up? That's another question altogether. I understand that he thinks he's going to be ready, and many people think he's going to be ready, but it doesn't matter if he doesn't show up. And there's always going to be some guy at the pro day that does. There's going to be a guy at the pro day that shows he's a little bit more than you thought. Jeff Badette famously went out and ran 4.27 in a 40-yard dash, showing that he had something. Emmanuel Beal goes out and runs sub 4.5 at the linebacker position, showing that he has something that you didn't. Curtis Bolton had the best performance in 2018, 2018 going into his pro day. I hope that Parnell Motley is one of these guys that just flashes and somebody's able to hold on to that and maybe take that into a draft room. And then you have a guy who not only deserves an opportunity, but wasn't given his just due based on 3 years of work before. He was up and down. He had a great sophomore season. I really enjoyed him in 2017. He was picked on and down in 2018 in a defense that really wasn't suited to what anybody was able to do well other than Kenneth Murray. And then in 2019, Alex Grinch, Roy Manning come in. They say, hey, we're about getting takeaways. Get your hands on the ball. Try to put it on the ground. Put people on the ground. Parnell Motley did both. And when the ball was in the air, the man that I had nicknamed Air Traffic Control back in 2017 looked like just that guy. Perhaps he could be that guy in the NFL because, as I say, it's about players. If you have 53 of the best players in the NFL, you're going to win championships. You can't do it just with one star. You have to have a bunch of guys that absolutely know how to play football and can help you win games. And that's what these days are for. Identifying players. Identifying guys that can help you in your fit and in your scheme, who are going to provide something to your locker room, who are also going to give you something that you just can't get somewhere else, whether it be speed, whether it be intellect, or whether it be size. I think Motley has a great opportunity right now, and I hope he seizes it.